Yeah, you're after first weather. Next on Worcester News tonight, meeting the demand for more space. Officers in a central Mass town are settling in at their new station. Plus, preserving a historical landmark in the city. Developers say it's a challenging process, but they're getting help along the way. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemon. We'll soon know the verdict in the Blackstone House of Horrors murder trial. The judge announced she will deliver it on Thursday morning. There was no jury in the case, so the judge will announce the verdict tomorrow at 11 a.m. Police found 3 dead infants in Erica Murray's trash-infested Blackstone home in 2014. Prosecutors argue Murray should be convicted of second-degree murder, but her defense argues she is mentally ill. We are learning new details tonight in the death of Worcester firefighter Christopher Roy. A search warrant affidavit reveals what investigators found inside the basement of the Lowell Street home. Firefighter Roy died in the line of duty last December. The unsealed affidavit shows firefighters discovered a plastic container in the basement next to a water heater not in service. The Worcester police detective wrote in the affidavit, quote, "The water heater had a fire pattern consistent with the fire originating in a plastic container. Momo Camaro was arraigned on charges of second-degree murder and arson in connection to firefighter Roy's death. Camaro was a former resident of the building. Switching gears now, the sun trying to peek through today, but the rain is expected to return soon. Downpours are expected tomorrow. Let's get a first look at our local forecast to find out more.
Hey there, good evening to you. We had an awfully muggy day out there and some peaks of sunshine across central Massachusetts, but wow, the clouds were pretty stubborn and we'll still have more clouds in your overnight forecast as well as a chance for a spot shower, maybe an area drizzle, but more fog rolling into the forecast too. Temperatures overnight tonight drop into the 60s, but staying very warm and humid as we go into your Thursday morning forecast, and a warm front approaches the area, so this could trigger a couple of scattered showers as we go into the first part of your Thursday, but the main event holding off until Thursday night and for your Friday forecast. More about that a little bit later. For overnight tonight, we'll be in the 60s across central Mass, across Springfield 65, Boston also a low of 65, Portsmouth 60 degrees, some 50s farther to the north across Maine. But as we check out the next 24 hours or so, stubborn clouds continue to be around, spot shower chance, warm and humid. And then tomorrow, we're tracking some heavy rain late at night. I'll show you the timing and your 10-day with a fantastic weekend in just a bit.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Pamela. A much-needed upgrade in Sutton for the town's police department. Voters approved a new department at a town meeting a few years ago, and now the new $8 million facility is complete. Our Rosalind Flaherty got an inside look today. She joins us live now with more. Rosalind.
Olivia, this building is state-of-the-art, which the department says was much needed for security.
It's designed where an officer will call the dispatcher, one of the doors will open, the officer will pull in with a prisoner, the door will shut behind him, the officer is able to secure his weapon before he gets the prisoner out.
Sutton Police Lieutenant David Perry shows off their new facility, including the advancements to make it more safe and secure.
Prisoners who come in, the safety of the booking room, the way it's designed and set up, it's just overall really enhancing the operations and the duties that we have to perform on a daily basis.
The department says the $8 million building was much needed. Space was tight in their last building and it made their jobs difficult.
A lot of flaws because of the size of the old facility. For instance, the administrative assistant who processes pistol permits, her space was adjoined to the very small booking room that we had, and if someone came in while there was a prisoner being processed, she had to decline people from coming in.
It was tough. We got it done.
These lockers, they're double width, and they have drawers underneath. There's outlets to plug in charges for flashlights.
Lieutenant Perry says the space is almost double the old facility and everything is state-of-the-art. The department is still moving in and figuring out how everything works, but are grateful for all the people who supported funding their new home.
Computer equipment, camera systems, security, everything in here is new. There's nothing really that was brought down with the exception of maybe a stapler.
Lieutenant Perry says the old building will now be used by the fire department. Olivia.
All right, thank you, Roslyn. A Rutland native who survived a shooting on the University of North Carolina Charlotte campus in April is taking to social media to ask for change. Drew Piscaro was injured when a former student opened fire in a college classroom. 2 people died and Piscaro spent weeks in the hospital. He posted an open letter on social media Tuesday asking for change to prevent mass shootings. He says in part, "I demand cooperative effort amongst the people not only in the state of North Carolina, but the leaders of the U.S. as well who have the power to make change." The Pawtucket Red Sox are a step closer to their move to Worcester. The team launched a smartphone app this week. It will eventually allow fans to get information on tickets, parking, and food, but right now it allows them to connect with the team. Our Brittany Schaefer joins us live now with more on the interactive app. Brittany.
Olivia, I downloaded the app here. It features upcoming events and prizes. The team says it's another way to make them the most technical and tech-savvy baseball team. The Worcester Red Sox will play ball in the city in 22 months. The team launched an app this week to get their fans ready well before opening day.
So much of what we do will be digital. We want to have the most technologically savvy ballpark in all of baseball. So this is the latest step. It really allows us to engage with our fans, sort of download all types of great content here these next few years, and be ready for April 2021 when it comes here.
The app allows fans to connect with the team, download content, and in the future, buy tickets. Pawtucket Red Sox Vice President Dan Ray says they want fans to have a welcoming and unique experience.
There'll be a lot of different features that I think people find enticing and interesting, and really allow them to engage with the team and with our personalities.
The app is a great example of how they're really trying to rethink the fan experience, and the fan experience really starts from the moment that you buy your tickets and maybe reserve your parking and even order the food that you want to have once you get to your seat. Not just going to be another ballpark and it's cool, but it's the same as any other ballpark. This is going to be different. This is going to be unique.
Ray says Polar Park will be unlike any other stadium and will represent its home city well.
I think you'll see history throughout the ballpark that pays tribute to Worcester baseball history, Worcester history in general. A lot of features that are very Worcester specific, and we've also talked about having sort of sights and sounds and even smells of Worcester. So some local vendors, some local restaurateurs might be involved. In April 2021, it will be a true Worcester ballpark.
Ray says they don't have an exact date, but construction for Polar Park is still set to begin in July. Olivia, back to you.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Brittany. A new business in Worcester adds to the city's restaurant scene, this time in Tatnick Square. Scruffy Murphy's opened its doors this week to the public. The Irish pub, crossed with a sports bar, is run by the owners of Funky Murphy's on Shrewsbury Street and in Marlborough. They say they came to the Worcester restaurant scene in 2005 and have seen it grow over the years.
People don't realise it is a tough business. A lot of people jump in saying, but there's a lot of hours involved in the business. There's a lot of hard work involved, but when it gets going, you get good people. And there's a lot of great restaurants that have been around in Worcester for years as well.
And Cal Dolan says affordable pricing and a variety of food options is what helps keep up with the changing scene. A negotiated agreement for the sale and redevelopment of the Worcester Memorial Auditorium is approved Tuesday night. The City Council Economic Development Committee supported the agreement. It allows an agreement with the American Architectural Heritage Foundation to move forward. The nonprofit preservation group plans to transform the auditorium into an innovative technology, arts, and education center. The redevelopment project is expected to cost more than $90 million. A historic building in Worcester has been vacant for more than 20 years. A digital scan of the building is expected to help developers preserve the details. It's the first time a building in the city has been scanned by a local company, but they say they have plans to do more in the future. Our Chandler Walsh joins us live now with the details. Chandler.
Olivia, the developers of Mission Chapel already had to overcome hurdles to get to where they are now. They had to meet certain criteria to use historic tax credits and also went before the WRA last week to release a deed restriction. They say the laser scans will make the design process they're in now easier. Architectural details inside Mission Chapel won't be lost once the building is restored. Tregorth Companies bought it last month and are planning to convert it into 7 apartments.
The cultural landscape is something that tells you sort of where you've been, and these buildings have a story to tell, and not a lot of people can look at a vacant building and see what it can be.
Tregorth is getting help to preserve the historic structure from Feldman surveyors. They conducted 3D laser scans of the building for free, measuring details within a 1/4 inch accuracy.
It will gather data of everything that it can see, and we bring it back to our office. We will compile the information into an actual 3D model.
Michael Feldman says laser scans can also be used if anything were to damage the building.
We would have the information to put buildings back either brick by brick, window by window, with all the critical dimensions.
Tregorth's Amy Skurzik says data from the scans sped up the design process. It's also helped architects find the best way to fix a water-damaged column.
Being able to give that to our architects to really sort of bring out every little nook and cranny in the building so that we know exactly, almost down to the smallest little bit, what we're dealing with.
Mission Chapel was built in the mid-1800s and served as a worship space for many groups until the 1990s. This is the first Worcester building Feldman has scanned, but their goal is to do others.
We don't think that people are going to just start archiving buildings like this, so we feel like we should start.
Feldman says they're in talks to scan the Worcester Auditorium next. Tregorth Company says they're also open to ideas for commercial use for the building. They aim to start construction in a year and could open for occupancy as early as August 2021. Live in Worcester, Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.